Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, Curtis Floor Covering is closing after 64 years. And the village wants to tackle snow removal and a deadly crash. Alcohol appears to be a factor.
Stay tuned, learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Recent rain and warmer temperatures over the past week melted most of the snow and left flooding for local residents. This didn't stop the Oxford Village Council from discussing snow removal at the February meeting. A January memo from Downtown Development Authority Director Glenn Pape prompted the discussion. Pape proposed the village to have an ordinance requiring snow and ice be removed from the sidewalk to form a path of at least 42 inches.
A 33-year-old Oxford Township man was arrested for possession, production, and distribution of child sexually abusive material. Scott Edward Lutz was arraigned February 14th in Rochester Hills District Court, and he faces 5 counts of possession, 2 counts of distribution, and 2 counts of production of child sexually abusive material. He was also charged with 2 counts of using a computer to commit a crime. His bond was set at $500,000 and is currently lodged in the Oakland County Jail. According to the Michigan State Police, their computer crimes unit started an investigation after learning Lutz was downloading material from the internet.
1 person is dead, 1 could be facing criminal charges, and 1 is being called a hero following a 3-vehicle crash on Lakeville Road Sunday morning. 57-year-old Goodrich resident Misty Considine died in the crash. The Ford Fiesta Misty was riding in collided head-on with the Ford Edge, which crossed the center line, according to the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. The Edge was driven by a 36-year-old St. Clair man who sustained minor injuries. According to the report, the man admitted to have been drinking.
13 is Oxford Township's lucky number. That's what the community was ranked in a recently released National Council for Home Safety and Security's list of Michigan's top 100 safest cities. Oakland County Sheriff Scott Peterson said he's proud of all of our officers at the Oxford substation who all work very hard to keep the community safe. He added it's appreciated that their hard work is recognized, and officers will continue to provide Oxford Township with a level of service that they deserve. Thank you, guys.
After 64 years in business, Curtis Floor Covering is closing its doors. Curtis Floor Covering has been in Oxford providing advice and installation on many different flooring products, but due to health reasons, the owners and siblings, Harry Curtis and Karen Etherton, will soon be closing the doors. They will continue to take orders until March 31st.
Rochester North Oakland Elks Lodge 2225 in Addison Township held its annual Polar Plunge fundraising event. This month, the participants braved the cold and dove into that icy water of Shadow Lake. The plunge was raised to help money for veterans in need throughout the Michigan Veterans Foundation. Close to $700 was raised during the event. They're still taking donations and probably still shivering.
Well, Terry, one thing I want to talk about, of course, is the new stats that have come out as far as viewership for OCTV.
For us.
For us.
Yeah, so congratulations to you, watchers, and us. Our stats have gone up from 7,000 viewers per month last year to 11,000 viewers per month this year, and it's still rising.
It's still going up.
Yeah, it is.
Terrific.
So
all of you viewers.
thanks
Great.
to everybody for doing that. And this is it for Oxford News This Week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, catch us right here on our website at occtv.org, on YouTube, and of course our regular charter channels, Charter Channel 191 and AT&T Channel 99. Hurried that up a little bit.
You got it out, okay. OCTV's very own Cody Wright will be coming up soon and on Sports Report, and you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles. Thanks for watching Oxford News This Week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Are you a movie buff? A gamer? A fan of music? Or do you just enjoy all things media? Then you should watch Media Maniacs on Monday through Friday at 3:30 and at 11:30 on the weekends, right before the all-night movies. Remember, Media Maniacs. They review everything and they're just crazy enough to do it.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, middle-aged men in Lycra, or mammals, may be onto something. People who keep cycling into their later years are surer on their feet, lowering the risk of falls that plague older folk. 1/3 of over 65s take a tumble each year. Apart from the physical injuries, the fear of repeat can limit mobility and independence and lead to further health issues like arthritis and depression. About 1/4 of older people who fracture their hip during a fall die within a year. Chris Rissell at the University of Sydney and his colleagues wondered whether bike riding could prevent falls by improving balance and leg strength. They compared 79 people aged 65 and older who still rode regularly with 28 others who stopped when they were younger. The participants were a mix of men and women living in the Netherlands. Those who still cycle perform better in all tests of strength and balance. For example, they were able to stand on one leg for more than twice as long, could jump twice as high, and were faster at going from sitting to standing. We would expect this to translate to fewer falls because there's a good evidence that strength and balance are the core preventative factors, says Rissell. A questionnaire found that the participants who still cycled reported being 25% more confident on average in their ability to stay on their feet during everyday activities like walking around the house, going up and down stairs, and navigating busy shopping centers. The study could not tease out whether this effect was down to cycling per se or some trait common in those who chose to cycle in later life. One way to determine this would be to take a group of non-cyclists and assign half to bike training to see if the same differences emerged. We're hoping to do this, says Rissell. But isn't cycling itself risky? Older riders who crash are more likely to break bones, but there is evidence that the health benefits of cycling outweigh the risk. A recent study of 260,000 people in the UK aged 40 to 69 found that those who rode to work were 41% less likely to die than any cause, that is, over a 5-year period. We've also found that older cyclists tend to be more cautious than younger riders, so they're less likely to crash, says Rissell. His team previously conducted a survey of 17 Australians aged 49 to 72 who were not regular bike riders and found that the biggest barrier to cycling was concern about being hit by a car. However, the respondents were able to overcome this fear by doing a 5-hour cycling course that covered starting, braking, turning, route planning, and on-road skills. 3 months later, all but one was regularly riding. The most common feedback was that it improved physical and mental health, social life and sleep quality, and recaptured a sense of joy and freedom from childhood. That's something else. In our next story, one of NASA's planned space telescopes is on the chopping block. President Trump just released his budget request for the 2019 fiscal year, and despite an overall increase of about $370 million over its 2018 budget, NASA is facing potential cuts. Among those are 5 Earth science missions, the agency's education office, and the Wide Field Infrared Survey Telescope, or WFIRST. Satellites from the Earth science missions were slated for elimination in last year's budget negotiations, though they ultimately remained funded. The WFIRST telescope, planned for launch in the mid-2020s, is intended to observe large areas of the sky to examine how dark matter and dark energy affect the distribution of galaxies and galaxy clusters. It also has instruments to find and take images of planets around other stars. An independent review committee found the telescope couldn't be built with its original $2 billion budget and would require significantly more money or major design changes. WFIRST has been competing for funding with the planet-hunting James Webb Space Telescope, which is cited as a reason for the cancellation. Developing another large space telescope immediately after completing the $8.8 billion James Webb Space Telescope is not a priority for the administration, the budget request stated. In our last story, zebra finches are such keen musicians they appear to rehearse songs during sleep. We knew that while birds sleep, their brains make the activation patterns they show when they sing. Now it seems their vocal muscles move in response. A team including Gabriel Mindlin at the University of Buenos Aires in Argentina found or fitted electrodes to the vocal muscles of 10 sleeping zebra finches. They saw twitching like during singing. In a second study, the team found they could trigger these movements simply by playing songs to the sleeping birds. The movements may help with learning, says Sharon Gobes at Wellesley University in Massachusetts. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
What's happening, Oxford fans? Cody Wright back here once again to give you the sports report. Well, like we've talked about before, we have had a very successful winter sports season overall this year. Both boys and girls bowling teams are dominant. The wrestling team is league champs, and we've had some record-breaking times for the boys swim and dive. Although this season is just about over, we still have a few more games to see through. Basketball, hockey, and bowling are still running, so let's check in and see how they are finishing up their season. Well, first off, boys basketball teams had a rough last couple of weeks. They seemed to struggle here towards the end of the season. However, we did have an exciting turn of events last Friday during the JV game. We took on Avondale at home. The game was very close for JV in the last 20 seconds. The score tied and the ball in Avondale's possession. Avondale manages to get a two-pointer, leaving us with only seconds to answer back and tie it up. And that is just what we did. From our defensive zone, we threw the ball in a desperation, and one of our guys picked it up and made the layup with literally no time remaining. We then go into overtime and fall by 1 point. Final score was 65-64. The freshman club the game before did manage to get a win as well, 53-40. However, varsity had the court last and fell to a final of 54-37. On the 20th, the boys then went on to take on Troy on the road. Freshmen started the night off well, taking the win 47-45. However, JV and varsity both struggled and fell 57-47 and 70-46. However, on a positive note, our girls basketball club has been performing very well lately in these last few games. On the 20th, we took on Birmingham Seaholm on the road. JV and varsity both played and were successful. JV final score was 34-31 and varsity 46-33. A few days later, on the 22nd, we returned home to take on Birmingham Groves. The freshman match was canceled, but JV and varsity both played very well, keeping up the momentum from the game before, came out and captured the win 35-20. However, varsity did not manage to get the same results and fell to a final of 55-40. Then as well, we have the bowling teams, both boys and girls, who have been absolutely dominant this season. It is no secret, both teams went to Drakeshire Lanes on the 15th to take on North Farmington. The boys winning as usual 20.5 to 9.5, and the girls winning as well 24-6. On the 19th, we then went back to Collier Lanes, a familiar spot, to take on Lake Orion. The boys were successful once again with a final of 28-2. However, the girls struggled and fell to a final score of 21-9. Still though, both boys and girls bowling teams have been very impressive this season. I just want to point that out. And we will be sad to see such talented rollers move on to the higher levels after this season has ended. And that is going to do it for this week's report. Make sure to check your calendars though to get on out to some of these final events for the winter season. And also, let's look forward to the spring season ahead of us. Soccer, baseball, lacrosse are all coming back, and we certainly look forward to it. Once again, for any more info on these events and more, go to oxfordathletics.org. Plenty of stats and game breakdowns all right there at oxfordathletics.org. Also, while you're at it, might as well check us out at occtv.org. All of our coverage of these events and more can be found on your YouTube page, which can be accessed through the website. Once again, that is occtv.org. And that is all for this week's report. I want to thank you all for watching and remind you to tune in next time. But until then, I am Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear. Enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise of battles won.
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
It's a today that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Please donate now to Red Cross Disaster Relief. Your help is urgently needed.
Hi, I'm Rachel Baker, and welcome to your weekly calendar of events, where we feature events from Oxford and Addison Township, which includes charities, special fundraisers, and general community information. If you or your organization would like us to get your message out to the viewing public, please contact us for more information at our studio. Our number is 248-628-9658, or go to our website at www.occtv.org. 18 years older and love to write? Sign up now for our Adult Writing Club on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. at the Oxford Library. Bring a piece of work to share or get inspired to begin something new. The Oxford Library also has fun and games for the little ones. Listen to fun stories and enjoy creative activities with after-school adventures for children from kindergarten to second grade on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. The first session runs from February 28th through March 28th. Join Lego Club for grades 3 to 5 on Thursdays from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. First session runs from March 1st to March 29th. There's still space available for these youth activities, so if you're interested, visit the Oxford Library's website or call 248-628-3034 and ask for the youth department. The Addison Library has events going on this week as well. On Mondays and Wednesdays, learn English from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. with the College of DuPage. Struggling with homework? Come get free help from college students, librarians, and teachers for free every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. for grades K through 12. For those of you interested in yoga, join the Addison Library on Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is one of the gentlest forms of yoga, which focuses on breath awareness and relaxation. Certified yoga instructor Marty Ann leads the class, and no prior experience is necessary to join. The Addison Senior Center also has free weekly events such as computer classes and euchre games. Call the township for more information. The American Legion on 130 East Drainer Road has an open museum which features military memorabilia from the American Revolutionary War to World War II and Operation Iraqi Freedom. If you have any questions or want more information, feel free to call them at 248-628-9081. Sign up for a mother-son dance on March 10th for grades K through 6 at Devil's Ridge Country Club in Metamora for a night of pictures, dancing, and mother-son bonding. Pictures start at 6:30 p.m. and the dance is from 7 to 8:30. Space is limited, so call Oxford Parks and Rec at 248-628-1720 to register. Sign up for a flashlight egg hunt at Powell Lake Township Park on March 29th, 8:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Pre-registration is required for all events. Oxford residents get $2 off their tickets each. Call Oxford Parks and Rec at 248-628-1720 for more information. Interested in a new member of the family? The Canine Stray Rescue League hosts regular adoption events at Pet Stuff and Harvest Time Market from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This Saturday, come out and pick your best friend. For every adoption at Pet Stuff and Harvest Time, a free bag of Nutrisource dog food will be provided to you. The same food Canine feeds their own dogs at the kennel. Next Saturday, another adoption event will be held at Petco in Auburn Hills, near Great Lakes Crossing. For questions or more information, please call Canine Stray Rescue League at 248-628-0435. If you're interested in donating your time or money to this fine organization, know that they are always taking cans and bottles to fund dogs' medical treatments. These are expensive endeavors, so donations are always appreciated. Also, feel free to donate paper towels or newspapers, chew toys, and milk bones for the dogs. Your help is sincerely appreciated. If you're interested in volunteering, please call Canine Stray Rescue League or visit their website, caninestray.com, for more details. This is Oxford Community TV, and I'm your local host, Rachel Baker. Please join us again for your weekly calendar of events.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, when it comes to making a buck on the black market, a car in pieces may yield bigger gains for car thieves than an intact vehicle as car parts prices continue to rise, increasing vehicle repair costs. Last year, car thefts rose 4.1% from the previous year, based on preliminary 2017 data from the FBI, according to the National Insurance Crime Bureau. The last time vehicle thefts declined was in 2014, when they slid 1.4%, according to NCIB spokesman Frank Scafidi. A report released February 14th by the NCIB said many of the vehicles that are recovered are missing wheels and rims or other key parts, while ones that are never recovered end up in chop shops where they are quickly dismantled and sold piece by piece. The report examined the price of replacement parts for the most frequently stolen 2016 vehicles, plucking the average original part prices from a database with more than 24 million vehicle damage appraisals produced for the insurance claims from 2016 to 2017. Common parts such as bumper covers, grille assemblies, door shells, and fenders were included, while complex parts such as engines and transmissions were excluded. For example, the 2016 Toyota Camry, which has a used market value of over $15,400, had 15 frequently replaced parts amounting to over $10,695, including labor, said the NCIB. According to the annual Hot Wheels list compiled by the NICB, the Toyota Camry was the most stolen 2016 vehicle in the U.S. in 2016 and number 5 overall. The Nissan Altima, the second most frequently stolen 2016 vehicle with a used market value of $20,620, had 14 components, that is, amounting to $14,263. The third most stolen 2016 vehicle, the GMC Sierra pickup, features a headlight worth $1,144 and a rear bumper worth $1,133, with all 20 standard components amounting to $21,332. The truck has a used market value of $28,230. On today's cars and trucks, the parts are often worth more than the intact vehicle and may be easier to move and sell, NICB Chief Operating Officer Jim Schweitzer said in a statement. That's why we sees so many thefts or key items like wheels and tires and tailgates. There's always a market for them. And on the recall front, Toyota is recalling about 8,800 Tundra pickups from the 2017 model year for a potentially loose second row seat that could increase injury in the event of a crash. It is also recalling 65,000 Tundras and Sequoia SUVs from the 2018 model year for a glitch that could turn off stability control and other systems, increasing the risk of an accident, Toyota North America said on February 20th. Toyota had no comment on whether any injuries had been associated with the problems. For the 2017 Tundras involved in the recall, Toyota dealers will tighten the bolts that fasten the left rear seat to the vehicle floor at no cost to the customer. Recall mailings will start going out in mid-March, the company said. For the 2018 Tundras and Sequoias, Toyota dealers will update the vehicle software at no cost to the customers, and like the other one, mailings will go out in mid-March. And still on the recall front, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles said on February 16th it would recall about 228,500 trucks in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and some other markets to prevent drivers from unintentionally shifting their vehicles out of park. The brake transmission shift interlock, or BTSI, may overheat on some vehicles, FCA US said, adding that it would cause the shifter to be repositioned without brake pedal application or in the presence of a key in the ignition. The overheating occurs when a driver keeps a foot on the brake while the car is idling in park. FCA said the recall includes certain 2017 to 2018 Ram 2500 and 3500 pickups, certain 2017 to 18 Ram 3500, 4500, and 5500 chassis cabs, and 2016 to 2017 Ram 3500 chassis cabs that weigh less than 10,000 pounds. The company also said that some 2017 to 18 Ram 1500 pickups are included in the campaign, but heavy-duty trucks represent the majority of the affected vehicles. The company said it is unaware of any injuries or accidents related to the recall, which is limited to vehicles equipped with gear shifters on the steering columns.